There are some things in this world that go way beyond human understanding. Things that cannot be explained, things that most people don't want to know about. That is where we come.
Do you know what the most frightening thing in the world is? It's fear.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
It's all true. The boogeyman is real, and you found him.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead people.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
They're here.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ghost Frickin' Talkin'. That's right, you have reached Ghost Frickin' Talkin', a paranormal podcast hosted by a father-son duo team. But tonight, I've upgraded my co-host tonight. I have a new co-host tonight because my son is gone. We have a wacky schedule. With this whole no school thing because of coronavirus, this and that. And yesterday we just got kind of carried away with our other channel, so we didn't get to record a podcast. But I do have a beautiful fill-in today. I want to introduce the world to Miss Vanessa here.
Hi there.
Welcome to Ghost Frickin' Talkin'. And Vanessa here, if you guys have been paying attention to our Instagram page, she has actually bought some Ghost Frickin' Talkin' gear. She has bought a hoodie and a T-shirt, and not to be all dreary like the rest of us, with our dark T-shirts like this. You went bright. You went bright pink on the hoodie and a bright blue on the T-shirt. So we appreciate you supporting Ghost Frickin' Talkin'. So I will go a little bit more farther into talking to Vanessa here, but let's get all the house stuff out of the way. We are a paranormal podcast, so make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to your podcast, wherever you find us, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, whatever it's called. Play, what is it called? Google Play? I don't know. I'm not a Google guy.
Google Play. Yeah.
Is it Google Play? All right, and then we got like I said, Stitcher Radio. But if you guys want to see our beautiful faces and her beautiful face, you come to our YouTube channel and you will see a live recording of this podcast. And on the podcast here, so make sure to hit the subscribe button here on YouTube and hit that notification bell for further videos that will be posted. Because on our YouTube channel, we also post ghost stuff. Like we will go out ghost hunting and we'll get evidence and we will post it on the YouTube channel that you won't hear on the podcast. So double up, subscribe on the podcast, and subscribe here on YouTube. But another thing I would need to get out of the way is that we had promoted a thing we were doing for Wolf Hollow here in Rockford, Illinois. But due to the coronavirus, we had to cancel our plans for our live review of evidence on, what we were going to do March 31st on a Saturday night. That's been postponed. It will be happening, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my cats are whooping each other's ass in the background here. So no, that was not a ghost that you heard or somebody dying in the background. My cats are killing each other right now. But it's all in love, right?
Sounds like it, yeah.
So we will be rescheduling for that item with Wolf Hollow, so stay tuned to our Facebook page for that. So make sure to check out there. Man, these cats are killing each other. Every freaking time. It's whether the dog is barking, the cats are killing each other. It's like I can't ever record a podcast anymore.
It'd be too convenient if they are quiet.
Yeah, exactly. It was really bad because over the weekend, of course, we're in a shutdown mode here in Illinois. So I had my kids over the weekend, and they just got cabin fever bad, and they were like killing each other. And we tried doing live videos on our sister channel, the Brickhead family, our Lego channel, and it was brutal trying to get anything positive going on that channel because the kids were just killing each other, and it was bad. But it's all fun. We have fun on that channel, and we have a lot of fun here. But Miss Vanessa, you said that you liked our setup here on Ghost Freaking Talking, right?
I did, yes. So I've seen a few episodes, and I noticed that I maybe had something that could make your setup look a little better.
And what was that?
A human skull.
A human skull? Look at this right here. If you guys are checking this out on YouTube, you could see our skull here. It is, we have deemed her name to be Martha. I don't know if it's disrespectful or not to call her Martha.
I don't think it's disrespectful. I mean, you need to have a name for her, so.
Yeah. But the weird thing is that my son, when I brought the skull in, and I was like, dude, I don't know why, but the skull wants me to call her Martha. And he goes, you know what? That's the weirdest thing. He goes, but that's what I was thinking that its name would be too, is Martha. So whatever it was connecting with us was actually, saying the name of Martha. Whether it's Martha or not, it could be just a coincidence. But my Lego YouTube community has fallen in love with Martha and have actually requested her be on our streams now. Because they're like, you're missing something. I'm like, what am I missing? I'm like looking over and I see all the Lego stuff, and they're like, no, we want to see the skull. And other people are like, what do you mean a skull? Like a toy, like a plastic skull? I'm like, no, this is this is a real skull. So how does a normal looking girl like yourself come across a human skull?
Well, I had a girlfriend who is a nurse, and she was in school for many years, and she came across a skull that they were getting rid of. So she had it for quite a few years in her house, and it was just time for her to basically gift it to somebody else. She said, her time was up with it, and she didn't know anybody who would want a skull except for me. So that's how I acquired the skull.
All right, so you are a fan of skulls then?
Absolutely.
Nice. What draws you to skulls? Is it just like that creep factor of it, or is it like the human factor of it, or is it just something that you just think is cool?
I'm a big science nerd, so I'm really into like anatomy, microbiology, all that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely into it from like a science educational perspective, and of course they're just cool as hell. So,
yeah. You're not like a sicko like me that just likes it because it's creepy as hell.
Well, I mean, it is really cool because it is creepy as hell, and I always love to see the look on people's faces when I tell them I have a real skull. So that's always cool.
So when you had your girlfriend was like, so I got this human skull that you can have. Have you ever held like a human bone or anything before? Anything like of a human? Besides, having a kid, but I'm just saying, like.
No, I have not. I can't say.
What were your feelings when she handed you a human skull?
Well, I did meet the skull previously at her house, and I don't even remember if I picked it up or anything, but yeah, it's just really cool. It makes you think about the history of the person, what their life was like, where they're from. So it's very interesting. So.
And your friend doesn't have any kind of history background of the skull itself?
Unfortunately, no. We do know it is a female, and she was told that it possibly came from Africa, but that is that's just a guess. So we really don't know.
So Martha isn't really an African name.
Who's to say she's really from Africa? So
yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
Now I've received this question, and I was kind of like, I don't know. How do they know it's a female skull?
There are different ways to tell by the size of certain, bone features within the skull. It's been a while, so I couldn't really particularly point them out to you right now, but you can tell from like the size and even possibly the teeth. So yeah, there are ways to definitely, determine if it's male or female.
Yeah, because I got this question on one of my Lego streams. They're like, how do you know it's a female? I'm like, I don't know. It's got boobs or something. I don't know. There's got to be someone that knows somewhere scientific.
Yeah, there's definitely certain bone sizes that are smaller on females, and so you can tell that way. So
yeah.
I'd have to do a little more research and get my anatomy book out and do some comparisons. So
yeah, because the one guy goes, because I go, it's science, and he goes, you just can't use the word science and get away with. I'm like, there's some kind of scientific something behind it.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's really cool. So what's also really cool, and it ties in with the whole woo factor, is that you actually work like with cemeteries and funeral homes and stuff like that, right?
Yes, I do.
So this whole skull thing kind of like fits right into that. What got you into? Did you want to work cemetery? Now you're not like digging graves or anything like that yourself, right?
Well, how do you think I got the skull?
See? Yeah, exactly. See, and once again, I'm going to bring up, past conversations I've had this past week with my friends. They're like, how do you know she isn't like a serial killer or something and just like kind of procures skulls from guys she meets?
Yeah, no, sorry guys. It's not that exciting of a story how I acquired the skull, but no, for work I just it's not like I grew up wanting to work in a funeral home or cemetery. I know some people, have that dream, but that wasn't my dream, but it just so happened it just worked out. Just worked at a cemetery for a couple years and kept getting promoted, and I work for a funeral home, and it's definitely interesting, that's for sure.
Very nice. So can you there has to be some awesome dead people jokes. Like, I know it's a bad time to be making these kind of jokes with the kind of world we're in right now, but because really there's never a dead time for funeral homes, right?
Yeah, everyone's dying to get in.
That's the good one. Everyone's always dying to get in. There's got to be some kind of stiffy joke somewhere along the line here.
Not that I've heard. The people I work with are pretty conservative, so I usually have to keep that kind of
So
stuff
they wouldn't be listening to
myself.
it. Yeah, they wouldn't be listening to a show like this.
No, definitely
because we are not conservative at all. I just crack open a cold one, kind of like, when I say crack open a cold one, I'm talking about like a cadaver.
I get it.
Right? So it's more in the Chicago area. So you've worked for like big cemetery, like Chicago cemeteries?
Yes, I have. Yeah, they're pretty interesting, very historical cemeteries in Chicago and around the Chicago area. A lot of history with the locations, and they're actually, cemeteries are quite beautiful places. A lot of people are freaked out by them, but
yeah, definitely. So working in that, kind of stuff, places and stuff like that. Do you ever have any kind of paranormal feels? Have you heard paranormal stories? Or do people just in that kind of field are just don't think of anything by those lines?
I've never experienced anything personally. I haven't heard any stories from people. I work above a funeral home. I'm there by myself a lot. I don't get creeped out. It's not as creepy as people really think it is. But yeah, I don't really hear stories from my coworkers about any weird happenings. I guess my big thing would probably be like in the prep room all by myself. I'd be kind of freaked out, like,
have you ever gone down and watched one be done?
No, I have not. I would definitely like to see what the process is, just from an educational, perspective.
Yeah.
But no, I have not had the chance to actually witness any embalming or the, preparing of a body for a funeral.
Yeah. It creeps me out, but it's one of those things that I'd be like, I gotta see it. but I don't want to see it type things.
Yeah, it definitely has a creep factor to it, just because, you know, a lot of people don't really think of, you know, their own mortality and like what happens afterwards. So
Yeah.
it's definitely kind of weird in
Yeah.
that sense, but it's good to talk about and good to educate people.
Yeah, because growing up, you know, as a little kid, you know, a lot of kids had fears of like monsters underneath the bed and this and that. But really, what kept me up at night and, you know, crying, going back to my mom is I always had a fear of death, and I think that's what got me more into, you know, embracing, you know, the creepy factor of what we get into,
Right?
Because it's kind of, you know, to face a fear is to conquer a fear. That's why, you know, when I go out ghost hunting, it's always my thing to find, is there something past what we're at right now? Another dimension or something where your energy goes or whatnot. Because I don't think, you know, in the end, once your body dies, you're done. You know, I'm not a religious person. So I can't tell you there's a heaven or there's a hell, but I do know that, you know, humans are made of energy, and energy doesn't die. It just gets displaced into something else. So, you know, whether it's, you know, I get placed into, I don't know, this computer monitor or whatever, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think this is it for us. And, you know, and like I said, having that massive fear, I mean, I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming for my mom that, you know, I'm just afraid to die. I'm afraid to die. You know, but then again, you know, I had at a young age, I had brothers that passed away and stuff like that. So I had to deal with that kind of mortality early as a kid, and you know, I've kind of just embraced it here in my elder years. So you know, I'm not as afraid, but I still don't want to go yet.
Oh, absolutely. I think nobody does, but it, you know, once you, you know, kind of learn more about it and, I don't know, just kind of accept it in your life. I mean, it's really hard to accept, but
exactly, because it's everywhere. And,
yeah,
you know,
and
you know, in the time that we're at now, where, you know, every time you click into Facebook, you know, we're getting more coronavirus updates, this and that somebody here died, somebody there died. You know, and it really sucks to know what kind of time we're at right now. And
yeah, for sure.
so we want to wish everyone, hopefully everyone is hunkering down, staying away from people at a 6 foot distance. Well,
I guess I should move my chair
right.
over, right?
I guess we should move our chairs over just a little bit more, so we can practice our social distancing right now. Because I believe the state of Illinois, New York, and California are all on, what do they call it? Like
shelter
in place, where you're technically not supposed to go anywhere unless you need to go to like the doctor or to a grocery store.
Or the gas station, or apparently hardware stores are open too.
Yeah,
So,
well,
you know, priorities.
Okay, I don't get why hardware stores are open.
I don't either.
Maybe, you know, in case, you know, it is wintertime, so let's say, you know, your faucet breaks or something like that, or you got a water leak, or you got to take care of that shit. You can't be having that go off for, what were we on lockdown for, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
A little over 2 weeks, yeah, till April 8th. We are all stuck in our houses.
Yeah. So like I said, that's one of the main reasons why we had to reschedule our thing with Wolf Hollow. So, all right, do you like scary stuff then, or?
I do, yes.
Okay. So you've never had an experience. Have you ever had anything that you were like, that's interesting?
No, not me personally. I've never experienced anything. When I went to San Francisco in 2009, I stayed at the Queen Anne Hotel, which is very
nice,
famous.
Very famously haunted.
Right. So I did stay there for about 4 nights, 5 days, and I did not experience anything. I was kind of hoping I would, because, you know, I definitely want to experience something with my own eyes and, you know, kind of make my own decision on what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we didn't experience anything. I did do the ghost tour that they had. It actually started at the hotel, and then we walked around San Francisco. So that was very interesting. But no, unfortunately, I've never experienced anything personally.
So, it's one of those, you're ready for it.
Definitely ready
You're
for it.
definitely ready for it. So you're open to it. You're not one of those people that are just shut out to it.
No, I'm definitely open to it. I'm a big believer that, the energy of somebody goes somewhere after,
Very cool.
our body passes. So, energy can't be created nor destroyed. It just changes form. So I'm curious to know what happens afterwards.
Very cool.
Where it goes or what we turn into.
So you would be open to going to like a Waverly Hills or something like that and do a ghost hunt.
Absolutely.
A proper ghost hunt. Because you just probably did a tour. You weren't,
Right.
using devices or anything like that.
No, I didn't have any special tools or devices to,
Very cool.
help me capture things. So,
Yeah.
no, that'd be really cool.
And right now you are technically in a haunted house. We have a lot of stuff that happens through here. But luckily enough, the ghost usually behaves when we have guests here. So then it starts to people start thinking that we're just fucked in the head, right? Because we have all these awesome stories, and then nothing happens when somebody's here.
Of course. Well, that's just how it works.
And that's my problem with a lot of these places like Waverly Hills and that. It's basically, they want to make money, and by utilizing these ghosts, like jump ghosts, like you're at a circus. But you have to go in knowing that there's a possibility that you're not gonna find anything. It's like going fishing, right?
Of course. Yeah.
You could spend 6 hours out fishing and not catch a damn thing or get one bite.
Yeah,
and,
not even get a bite.
Yeah, that's ghost hunting. I've been into some hunts like that where you just feel like that whole night is just wasted because you're just sitting around in a dark house or something somewhere. And it's like you just want something to happen.
Just waiting for something to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's like almost, if something does happen, did you will it to happen?
Yeah.
More than something actually. Is it your energy that you're putting out to make something happen more than it is something that's actually there in that house? So that's one of my things. And ladies and gentlemen, on our YouTube. We are getting our first new guest. We got a cat here on the table. She's never done this before. It must be because we have guests here tonight.
Must be. Wanted to join the show.
There you go. All right, so stay over there, cat. All right, so okay, so you're open to the belief that there's ghosts. Here's the cat again.
Yes.
Now, are you in the belief of other things, kind of like cryptid? Do you know what a cryptid is, right?
I do, yes.
All right. Do you believe in cryptids? Do you believe in a chupacabra or a Bigfoot or a Nessie or something like that?
I do. I think there's a lot of creatures out there that we have no idea even exist on this planet, and I definitely think there's a lot of stuff out there that is probably a lot creepier than we would imagine. So, yeah, I definitely believe in that stuff. It'd be silly for us to think we're like the only,
like living creatures,
right? Animals, if you will, on the planet that are like intelligent. So
all right.
I don't know.
All right. So all right. And I know you. We've talked, and you're big into like space and stuff like that.
Yes.
Aliens.
Yes.
Aliens. Do you think aliens are a thing?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that they have aliens in Area 51?
I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know so much now. But it's kind of interesting to think that they're just already among us, not necessarily at Area 51, that they're kind of, interspersed with the human population. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about.
So do you think that the person next to you on a bus could be an alien? Is that your thoughts?
Could be. I can't say no.
Like Men in Black?
Yes.
Is this
kind of, yeah.
Have you seen Men in Black too many times that you think?
I have. No, I'm just saying, there's so many possibilities out there. It's really hard to say. Anybody's guess is as good as any other person's. But yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in aliens. I think it'd be really stupid of us as humans to think that we're the only intelligent species in the whole entire universe, because it is quite enormous.
Well, I thank you for noticing.
So yeah, that's just my take on it. So.
All right, we have this thing. For a few episodes, we were talking about the whole Area 51 thing back when they were trying to do the raid on Area 51.
Right.
So it keeps coming up. And my question is, and let me know if I'm way out of base here. You know, I'm trying to be as much of a gentleman as possible.
All right.
But why do aliens probe asses?
I don't know. They're curious.
So
I mean, aren't you curious when you probe someone's ass?
Whoa! Hell! Well, yeah.
No, I don't know. Whether they probe asses, I don't know. I just think that they, if anything, they're trying to obtain DNA or, sperm or eggs to genetically modify, their own species or us. It's really hard to say, but I think it's just a big science experiment.
Yeah, because, why the ass? Is that where you learn everything, is through the ass?
I don't know.
You would think it'd be, they'd have some kind of brain probe or something.
Through the nose,
You're going
like the
through
Egyptians.
Where they can pull the brains out through the nose and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of great. There was what movie was that? Where the mummy came to life, and he actually pulled the brain out. I think it might have been like a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't recall a movie.
Because they were like two college kids, and the one college kid bought a mummy, and the mummy came to life, and then ended up pulling the dude's brain out through his nose with a coat hanger.
Yeah, that's probably a Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I think that might have been a Tales from the Crypt episode. Either Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side. One of the two. Okay, so since we're getting into that, scary movies. Are you into scary movies?
Yes, I'm into scary movies.
Okay. Favorite scary movies. Okay, well, let's start off genre kind of scary movies. Are you a slasher girl? Are you a thriller girl? Are you a monster? What are you?
I like them all. I'm definitely into slasher films, the gorier the better. I'm really into that. So, but I really don't discriminate. I like all kinds of horror movies. I like the thrillers, the suspense, horror movies. But yeah, good slasher film is always good.
Yeah, because you dive into those like subgenres, like the gore porn, like they call Saw gore porn or Hostel and stuff like that.
Oh right, yeah.
A lot of Rob Zombie movies are considered gore porn, which I don't think that it should be.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree there, but I'm definitely a big Rob Zombie fan.
Hey,
so.
I am too. I love, because we talked about this before. I'm a huge fan of House of a Thousand Corpses.
I am too.
A lot of people think that Devil's Rejects is the best Rob Zombie movie. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I will still go back to a House of a Thousand Corpses before Devil's Rejects, because it's just like one long ass music video.
It is, yeah. I really like that over Devil's Rejects. I mean, they're both great, but yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses just like hits the spot on, like, the horror movies.
Yeah.
And the the soundtrack is great too, and it's everything's just like perfect about it.
You would think that a Rob Zombie would have a great soundtrack, and he does. The soundtrack just fits everything that goes to the movie. The whole rockabilly and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So. I'm huge into the whole 80s slasher movies. You got the what do you call it? The Mount Rushmore of horror guys. You got Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. So out of all like the slasher guys, who's your favorite slasher killer?
I would have to say Freddy.
Yes.
Definitely Freddy. I had an experience when I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. I somehow ended up watching a little bit of, I believe, the first Freddy movie. So I had nightmares for quite a while. Freddy definitely scared me, but over the years, Freddy and I, we've made up. So
yeah. I just got into a conversation with a friend of mine that does YouTube. If you guys want to check him out, he does like art podcast or art videos on Friday mornings live. You can go in and suggest stuff. And I actually, a couple weeks ago, I suggested him draw a Freddy Krueger. By the way, his name is Mr. Hinkle Draws. So if you guys want to check him out, he does some really great art stuff. But it's called his Doodle Stream. So, you go on, you suggest something to get drawn. And I'm like, dude, draw us. It was Friday the 13th. I'm like, since we did Jason, a few shows back, I'm like, let's do Freddy. So he's sitting there, and he's like, dude, I can't. Freddy just freaks me out. I'm like, are you that big of a pussy? Seriously?
Can't even draw him.
You can't, he's like, oh, I can't stand this. I'm so scared of Freddy. Freddy just freaks me out. I'm like, dude, you have to go back and at least watch the first one. Freddy has gone. If you go back and watch these older movies, it's just so campy.
Yeah.
and just so weird. All right, so now I got a grunting dog over here. So if you guys hear that, it wasn't a ghost in the background. It is my dog wanting to go outside. So I guess this could be a good spot to break here. When we come back, what we're going to do is, since you guys haven't been sending us stories at ghostft@yahoo.com, I'm going to have to go and dive into the Reddit folders and delve into stupid Redditors that us YouTubers don't like too much, and they don't like us. So we're gonna get into some stories, and we'll talk about some of this, some of these whacked out stories that they write up. All right, guys. So stay tuned, and for this commercial for our merch, make sure to grab yourself some Ghost Freaking Talking gear, and goddamn dog, every fucking time this dog wants out. All right, guys, so we'll be back after this break. All right, and we are back, so make sure to go out and get yourself some Ghost Freaking Talking gear, because all the money that is brought into the channel gets put right back into the channel, like this brand new laptop that I'm working on right now, and we'll work on getting some newer equipment, better sounding microphones. These ones sound good, but I know there's just one out there that's just a little bit better to help out my sultry voice, and hopefully not have out echo issues like we did last week. So I apologize for last week's episode that did have, it was weird because it only echoed off my microphone and not Trent's. So, and I tried listening to it on Spotify. I was like, hopefully this isn't the first time somebody's listening to this, because they'll be like, man, these guys suck. But like I said, you went out and got yourself some Ghost Freaking Talking gear, so it's not that hard to do, right?
I did, yeah. Very simple. Just go to the link and find out what you like, and place your order.
Yeah, and you can get it any kind of color that you want, even pink.
Even pink.
Even pink, and it really looks sharp. If you guys want to check that out, I posted some pics that you took for us, and that's on our Instagram page. So if you guys want, Ghost Freaking Talking is on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter. We are on Twitter now, Ghost Freaking Talking. So if you guys, I don't even know fucking Twitter. Everyone's like, oh, you gotta get on Twitter, and I get on there, and it's like, well, I'm on Twitter. Not that I'm going to do anything on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter.
So I tweeted.
Tweeted, yeah.
I twet once. I twet once on there. So you guys can check us out there. Maybe I got to utilize it. Maybe I'll find someone that likes to use Twitter, and they can just run stuff on there all the time for us.
Here you go.
Yeah. Outsourced it. Somebody that knows the Twitter.
Exactly.
The Twitter. I sound like my mom when she's trying to say dumb stuff, kind of with the hip hop stuff. Like my kids brought up TikTok the other day. I'm like, and they're all trying to tell me about how to do TikTok and this and that. I'm like, dude, people are actually like, I didn't know that people were actually dating on TikTok. TikTok's a huge place for you to go and pick up dates at now.
That's news to me.
So long, Tinder.
Yeah, I guess
so long, Grindr. By the way, you can find me on Grindr if you want. No, not really. I'm not on Grindr. So we are going to start reading some stories off of Reddit. Right before the break, I kind of threw Reddit under the bus because being a YouTuber, Redditors just don't like us all too much because they call us self-promoters when we go out there. So now I'm stealing their shit. We did this a few episodes ago, and people really liked us going through some of these Reddit stories here. So, and the very first one, the top Reddit stream, are what are they? Streams or I don't know.
Posts?
Threads?
Threads? Yeah, I think threads.
Yeah, I think it's threads. The top thread right now is in the paranormal one. It says, "My friend won't stop summoning demons." Do you have friends that summon demons?
No, I can't say I have any friends that summon demons. That I know of, anyways.
Do you want to summon demons?
Sure. Do you know how?
Well, I do have a plethora of Ouija boards.
Awesome.
And so maybe we can summon Zozo, the demon. Zozo? Or
Can't say no Zozo.
or was it the one that was in The Conjuring 2, Valak?
Oh yeah, Valak.
We get Valak.
Valak, yeah.
Yeah, so
Kind of creepy.
so come on, demons. Bring it.
All right, well, let's see what these Reddit users have to say about their friends summoning demons.
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, this title, once again, is called My Friend Won't Stop Summoning Demons. I live alone. I used to invite one of my friends over to my apartment a lot, but every time he came over, he wanted to summon a demon instead of putting it in me. No, I added that. I added that. It could be...
Makes it a little more exciting, right?
Could be a guy, but then again, you can put it in him too. Here I am, not being a gentleman with a woman on the pocket. Every time he came over, he wanted to summon a demon. He always brought a Ouija board or pencils to play Charlie Charlie. Have you ever done the do you know what Charlie Charlie is?
I don't know.
It's where you stack two pencils together and you in a circle, and you put yes, yes, no, no, and you say Charlie, Charlie, and then the pencils kind of move to where it says yes or no. You can ask questions to Charlie, Charlie, and then the pencils move.
Oh. Okay.
No, it's...
All right. I'll have to get some pencils and try it out later.
Yes. And so this guy carries pencils with him so he can play Charlie, Charlie. But, you know, I do get it. You know, I carry a Ouija board.
I'm not judging.
No, I'll carry a Ouija board with me. I actually took a Ouija board. Here. This is what we do here. We kind of trail off from what the story is. But I went to a Lego convention in Birmingham, Alabama, and I flew one of my Ouija boards down there. Didn't use it. But I brought it just in case my friends down there in Legoland wanted to summon demons.
Awesome.
The southern demons. They're the best demons to get. All right.
It's always nice to be prepared.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I wonder what TSA was like when they opened up my bag, and it's like, okay.
I'm sure they see a lot of interesting things, so I'm sure it probably didn't faze them.
Yeah, they're probably like, thank God it wasn't another dildo. It's just a Ouija board. He always brought a Ouija board or pencil to play Charlie Charlie. I asked him if we could do something else a lot. Like, come on, do we have to do Ouija board? Can you just put it in my butt this time? I added that. But he says, no, we're using Ouija boards and pencils. And everything is just fine. Every time he would leave, I would put salt on whatever we used because I heard that helps. Do you ever watch the show Supernatural?
I have not, no.
They use like salt pellet guns and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
that's probably where the salt came from.
Yeah, and have you ever seen Hocus Pocus?
I've seen Hocus Pocus.
All right, they use the circle of salt is supposed to keep demons and stuff away.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha.
And witches, I think that's how it worked in that way. I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen that.
Yeah, I guess I just remember garlic, the vampires, right?
Yeah, because they don't like garlic breath. I don't invite him over anymore, but weird things have started happening in the middle of the night. Bum bum bum. One time, while I was sleeping, one of my family pictures fell on the floor. No! A pitcher fell down.
That's the demon.
That's the demon. Yep. You have a pitcher fall down. That's the first thing I think of is I jump to conclusions and call it a demon.
Yep.
Because not, normal stuff will happen,
Always jump to the demon
Always jump.
conclusion.
Oh, it's always demons. Demons are always getting a bad rap. Fucking knocking over pitchers and shit. Another time, my bathroom door slammed in the middle of the night. That one is getting creepy.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody's there and there's really no legit reason why your door would just slam, then yeah, maybe it could be the demon.
We've had that happen. So that one. We've had doors just slam. Windows aren't open because if you have windows open, then you got the cross breeze and doors will close. Yeah. But it'll be in the middle of winter, and all of a sudden, like that bathroom door will close.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah. So looking down the hallway, you kind of.
Yeah.
Is it creepy looking down there? Because we get a lot of people say that they get the feelings when they look down that hallway.
I don't.
You don't get a negative feeling looking down there or going down that way?
Negative.
No,
I don't get a creep factor in the hallway.
No, so you don't have The Shining? No. You don't have
great movie, but
all right. Like I said, we get distracted all the time reading the story.
Back to the original.
Back to the original story. And sometimes I just get this weird claustrophobic feeling when I go into certain rooms. My bathroom, for example, is where he played Charlie like 2 or 3 times.
Watch out.
What's he doing in the bathroom?
I must have 2 or 3 demons in there.
He must like having Charlie want to watch him go to the bathroom or something.
Why go in the bathroom?
Well, that's where you summon all the demons, right? Bloody Mary?
Well, I was going to say, the whole mirror, the Bloody Mary, I remember that, but...
By the way, if you guys want to check that out, we actually have a video here on our channel on YouTube where we think we actually we were trying to do a dumb skit on our channel for Halloween, for our Brickhead family channel, and we were doing a Bloody Mary thing, and we had things happen, one after another. The candle blew out by itself. We were hearing footsteps out here in the kitchen, and then when we left to find out what was going on out here, the camera in the bathroom turned.
Oh.
And followed us out while we were walking out. It was really weird.
Crazy.
So if you guys want to check that out, check it out. It is on our Rewind series on YouTube. And I believe it's called Did We Summon Bloody Mary? Those catchy phrases you got to get people to click on stuff.
Absolutely.
But continuing the story here, the shower curtain fell once when I was using the toilet, and it hit me in the head.
Curtain rod.
Oh, darn. Is there any way to stop this? Or do I just have to live with it?
Well, it's a pretty interesting demon if he's deciding to just throw like shower curtain rods at people.
Seriously, who throws a shower curtain?
Oh, you think he'd probably, do something a little more scary, maybe?
Yeah, right?
You're a demon?
You're a demon. I want blood to drip from the walls and shit.
Yeah, now that would be some creepy shit.
Don't hit me in the head with a shower curtain.
Yeah.
Or make my parents' picture fall off the wall.
Watch out.
Now, if they threw it across the room and it hit you and you gashed your head open.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
But just falling off the wall.
Just falling off the wall. Yeah. Or a shower curtain because you didn't put the tension rod right. Right?
Yeah. Human error.
It's human error. But yes. So let's say you have a demon in your house. You want to go to the church, right? Is that what people do? Do they go to churches and then they get pastors? Pastors?
Yes, they get
if they're
religious
not,
people.
If they're not touching little boys at the time.
Yeah, you gotta find the ones that are not touching little boys.
Exactly. So you gotta get them to come to your house. But I hear there's so much red tape you gotta do to actually get people like them to come in and bless your house and stuff like that. You actually have to send them evidence of your house being demonized.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just find a guy for $20 on the street. He'll come in and read some passages or something.
There you go. I can go buy a Bible and read some verses for you in the corner of the house.
There you go. You have
Get rid of the demons.
You have that little white tie thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
That's like part of the the whole gig.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Get some holy water.
Holy water, holy water. And then you just got the water off the tap.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly. But what's fun with Reddit? I hate Reddit, but they come up with some cool comments here. So this person commented, "I don't know your spiritual background. As a Christian, I believe God has the power to protect you from evil." All right. So there you go.
Whatever makes you feel better.
So yeah. So, find the power in God, and He will help you with your butthole demons in the bathroom.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, why in the bathroom? Why are you going to go in there and play Charlie in the bathroom?
Yeah, I don't really know.
I do, back on a serious note, I do know that mirrors are supposed to be portals. I could see that's why someone would go into a bathroom is because the mirrors.
There's always mirrors in bathrooms. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Have you ever been looking in a mirror and it feels like you're looking into a different dimension? Or am I just high on drugs all the time?
Yeah, I think you just might be smoking a little too much weed.
Which is legal in Illinois.
It is legal in
So don't go
Illinois.
and write some nasty stuff on our stuff here. That is legal in Illinois. But yeah, there's been times where, I'll be looking in the mirror and you would almost see yourself, but double or triple. And it's kind of like that shift in different dimensions, like your soul being shifted in different things within the mirror.
It's very, very possible. I mean,
I believe there's a movie called Oculus. I think it's Oculus with the mirrors, where this family is tormented by some creatures that were in these mirrors.
okay.
So
I'll have to look into that a little more. It rings a bell, but
I have to go and rewatch that one. I think that one was a pretty decent one. It was kind of one of those fucked up movies that kind of gets you in the mind.
Get you thinking a little bit.
Yeah. And another person wrote, this is the best one. He goes, is this a serious story? Do you wake up in the middle of the night frequently to use the bathroom?
All right.
Okay. All right, so that was the story of, what was it? My friend won't stop summoning demons.
Pretty scary.
Pretty scary stuff. So here we go. The next story, like I said, we'll pull out a couple of them. And I'm just going by, what are the top threaded ones here. This one's called, Mama Said I Was Killed on a Train.
Oh, goodness.
Mama said...
Oh, goodness.
Mama said alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. Let me start off by saying this. In my whole 24 years of life, I have never been on a train. Roller coasters? Most definitely. But not an actual train. No fucking way.
Because trains and roller coasters,
Yeah, let's, sure. From the time I was little, when my grandma and mom would take me to Six Flags St. Louis in the summers, I was beyond exhausted by the time I got there, simply from sleepless nights, tossing and turning from pure excitement of what I was going to do that next day. But I always did what every kid did between the ages of 7 and 12 does. I had a blast at the park. When are we going to get to the good stuff? Then was asleep as soon as I hopped in the backseat of the truck when we would leave, not to wake up until we pulled into the driveway. Anyways.
All right, let's get to the...
Yeah, where's the meat? Where's the fucking meat and potatoes of this?
Yeah.
I want to know why Mama said you were killed on a train. Anyways, I was never scared of roller coasters, not even the ones with the loop.
Loop-de-loops, watch out.
Oh, man. Did you ever go to Six Flags Great America?
Yes.
Do you remember there was a roller coaster called the Shockwave?
I do.
You would get fucking migraines.
Thrown around on that one.
Oh, because it had this one section when you went through the loop and it just kind of jostled your head around, and they had these shoulder pads things that fucking knock your head around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad to see that they fucking took that one out. That one.
Yeah, not really a fan of the Shockwave, so.
Yeah, so that's gone.
That's good.
I was always the one leading whoever was with us down the long path of line. You'd have to go through to get up to the right. What the fuck? Come on. One by one, coaster after coaster, I always knew that usually about halfway through our visit, I'd be too chicken shit for a certain ride that still to this day, I've never had the balls to get on. The goddamn train that takes you around the park.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, fuck. Okay. The fucking choo-choo train. Why? I can tell you for the life of me, single reason. What? I can tell you for the life of me, a single reason or even possibility as to why.
This guy's not a very good storyteller.
First of all, he never brought up his mom. Okay. What the fuck? Yeah, that was the story.
He's probably like 10 years old.
He said he was 24. Yeah. Yeah, should we be afraid?
Yeah, that's sad.
Because not one thing, it said moms, because the title was called Mama Said I Was Killed on a Train.
I didn't hear anything about... Yeah.
I'm not even gonna...
Yeah. We'll just leave that one alone.
Jesus Christ. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm going to skip. I'm not even going to read the comments on that because I'm fucking done with that story. All right. This one's called Don't Knock on the Walls. They Knock Back.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. When I was 23, here we go. This sounds promising. I started getting into online dating and met a girl that I started talking to pretty frequently. Eventually, I went over to her place and spent some time with her and got freaky deaky with her family. Wait, no. I tried to ad-lib a little bit to the story, but the next line was weird.
With her family.
With her family. No, he goes, I started talking to pretty frequently. Eventually, I went over to her place to spend some time with her and her family. That was the wrong place to put that ad.
Yeah, that's okay.
At the doorway, she stopped me and said, "There's only one rule at my house. Don't knock me up." No, it says, "Don't knock on the walls because they knock back."
Oh, that sounds pretty scary. Thanks for the warning.
You know what my one rule is when I brought a girl home to my house? Is don't shut your door. That was the one rule.
Yeah, keep the door open.
Yeah, because I won't even go into... Yeah, my mom walked in and I was performing an act on a certain girl at one time, and my mom walked in asking if we wanted cookies.
Oh.
And my mom goes, "You don't need cookies." So yeah, that was an embarrassing fact. So
yeah, that sounds kind of embarrassing.
But this person's rule is don't knock on the walls because they knock back. Because they knock back. We had talked about the paranormal, but she never really went into great detail about her house. I agreed, and we, along with her friend, her brother, and her friend, were smoking and chatting for a few hours until the girl I was with said she had to run to the store. While she was out, I couldn't help myself and dared her brother's friend to knock on the wall because he was the only one that didn't know about the rule. You asshole. You asshole.
Setting him up.
What a dick. Hopefully this dude didn't stay because he's a tool. And he immediately did. Everyone in the room went quiet for a moment. And when nothing noticeable happened, we began talking again until we heard what sounded like someone aggressively pushing her dresser. Her brother jumped up frantically and said, "What the fuck was that?" We all sat there quietly to see if anything else would happen and slowly worked our way back into conversation. When she got back, she joined us in conversation until she got this look on her face. Why am I just like missing parts of these stories? Maybe that's what it is. It says read more, but Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Maybe that dude did have a story about his mom. I just don't know how to fucking read Reddit. What the fuck was that? She joined us in conversation until she got back. Got this look on her face. She kind of cocked her head to the side slightly, as if someone was whispering in her ear, and just blurted out, "Who knocked on my wall?" Nobody had touched their phone the entire time. We were sitting there. There's no possible way she could have known that someone had knocked on her wall. That still creeps me out, no matter how many times I tell that story.
Ooh, pretty creepy.
All right, so evidently this chick is a whack job.
Sounds like it.
So, tip, when you go to a girl's house and she says, "Don't knock on the walls, they'll knock back." Yeah, don't date her, dude.
Run.
Yeah, well, you need to run. But yeah, evidently I fucked up Reddit stories, man, because I didn't know there was the drop down, read more section here. So maybe
That's okay. We'll forgive you.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's just we like to just pick up a couple of these top stories. So what is your take on that Reddit story?
Yeah, I guess I really don't have a take because, like,
Yeah.
what was the point of it?
Yeah. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be entertained, that's the kind of entertainment you get on Reddit. You get people that can't type or anything on there. But, you can go on there and share your scary stories. But I know a better way for you to share your scary story. It is to write to us at...
GhostFT@yahoo.com.
Aha, see, she's got it. You're as quick as Trent is. I'm getting that out there.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
All right, so yes,
Watch out, Trent.
So write your stories at ghostft@yahoo.com and send them to us, and we will read them here on the show. We won't be a dick like what we do when we read Reddit stories. We will take your stories as serious as possible and give our valued opinion of what we think is going to happen, or what's happening, or why it's happening, or whatnot. So don't be afraid to write in your story, and we will read them here, and you'll be famous. You'll be podcast famous. All right, guys. So that is our show for today, and I want to thank you, my guest here. And it was just perfect timing too, because my candles just burnt out.
Yeah,
I see a little smoke is done, and it got a little bit darker here and creepier. And we're here with Martha. She's holding us, keeping us safe. But yeah, thank you for coming on the show, and we want to really thank you for letting us use Martha here on our panel.
You're welcome.
She, like I said, she has become YouTube famous. Because everybody wants to see her whenever I'm on streams that isn't even to do with paranormal stuff. They're like, "Hey, you the guy with the skull?
Where's the skull?
You the guy with the skull? Let's see the skull."
No, I'm happy that the skull or Martha can have a good spot here. She was just sitting in my closet for the time being. I didn't want to display her in my room. I have a little boy, and I know that it would get broken if it was just sitting out on a shelf. So I'm very happy that it is being displayed and appreciated. So you are very welcome to have it.
Definitely. We really appreciate it. And when I brought it up to the kids, because I told them when I was picking them up, I'm like, "Yeah, guys, guess what?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, You'll never figure out what I got today." And they're going through, "Oh, you got this Lego set. You got this. You got this."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, that's not it." And then I go, "I got a human skull." And they're kind of they all got quiet in the car, and they're like, "You got a what?" But yeah,
That's cool.
and so when we got here, and they're like, "Oh, it just looks like a skull, but it's real." So Martha is a really good home right here, and she is staring holes into the world out there on YouTube, and she's YouTube famous. So Martha, you are a bigger YouTube superstar than I am even. But like I said, thanks again for buying merch, for listening to the podcast, checking out our stuff, and and for Martha here, and hopefully maybe we'll get you on another show to fill in, because because I'm pretty sure you're way better to look at than me and my son.
Well, thank you. Well, thanks for having me too. I appreciate it.
So if you guys want, make sure to give us a cool 4 or 5 stars. I don't know how many stars they give on iTunes, but when you give a star rating and a feedback on iTunes, then it will get shared more along the iTunes verse out there. So let's get this podcast going. We have really good numbers going right now, and we want to even get bigger. So make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio, and Podbean, and Launchpad, all those fun different places. There's so many places out there. I don't even know where my stuff is. But big time here on YouTube, you can see our smiling faces and our bald heads and beautiful women on the podcast by subscribing here on YouTube, and make sure to hit that notification bell. And you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Hey guys, I am Nick, and once again we have Vanessa here, and thank you very much. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, everybody has a story to tell, so write it to ghostft@yahoo.com. All right, guys. See ya. You want to say goodbye?
See you guys later.
All right. And good evening.